one of the main parts that I'm always working on is getting that call to action together so that if you're seeing the property, you're not then having to go on a wild goose chase to find out more about it. We want to make it as easy as possible. So if you're getting served an ad for 12 Smith Street, you want to be able to click on that and it take you to the information to where you can.
Going once, going twice, sold. You're listening to the Property Pod.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Property Pod, your weekly engagement into real estate here in the Hobart Marketplace. I am joined by 414 Property Co real estate agents, but not all at the desk today. I've got some news for you out there. I've only got one team member in here with me. J-Mac, welcome to the studio.
It's much colder in the room without all the heat from all that normal hot individuals.
Yeah, radiating from the other side of the desk. But let it be known that someone is locked in their house with the old spicy cough. How are you, Patrick Berry?
I'm doing good, guys.
You look really fresh. You've come down with the COVID-19 and you're looking sharp as a tack.
Oh yeah, it's what it's like. First couple of days are pretty horrible. Then the next 5 days, you wonder why you're stuck in lockdown. It's so frustrating.
Indeedy. How did it go for you? Did you hit you hard or did you come out okay?
Yeah, no, the first couple of days were really hard actually, but first time I've had it, so I don't know what other people have experienced, but yeah, I found it really hard for the first 2 days. And but we got through it. Hard part's done. Just counting down the hours now to and get out of here.
So you're one of those guys that normally has kind of, the super immune system. Like I never know Pat to be sick. Like I think in all the years I've known you, you've kind of been down with an illness twice.
Down with the
sickness. Come on and get down. Obviously, it got you. You couldn't escape this one.
No.
Yeah, you come out all right. What about the family? Everybody was okay on that front?
Yeah, no one else seemed to get it in the house. And so we've been lucky there. So they've been able to go along and do business like normal, but is what it is. Just got to sit it out and wait.
I guess being the digital mastermind that you are and having everything set up in the offices as a online place, it wouldn't have slowed you down too much. I guess you can't go and do open homes and showings and stuff like that, but I'm sure you still were able to kind of get a fair bit of stuff done in this time.
Yeah.
Or were you just sitting around watching F1 races?
That did fill me on Sunday night, but no, I was able to continue working like normal. So we are very lucky with our office being a fully digital setup. So it does mean that you can just pick up where you left off. And I'm very lucky that I set all of my stuff up that I do use my computer only, and I don't use a lot of paperwork. So everything I had. So I've just been working like normal here at the kitchen bench and just working through it.
How do you find? I know Simon Presley talks the working. Well, it sounds like you want to get out of the house, but the talking from home revolution has changed his business model. What about yourself?
I don't know what Simon's talking about. It's absolute rubbish working from home.
The difference is too, for him to go outside, it's like a really pleasant temperature. Where in Tassie, you're just freezing the entire time. So I wouldn't want to sit out in the backyard.
Yeah, so I don't know what Simon thinks is so great about working from home, but I need you guys. It's too lonely here.
I did see, Pat, you were thinking about leaning back into the couch for the laptop, but it looked like that was incredibly uncomfortable. So
no, it wasn't, John. It's actually quite comfortable, but I thought my slippers in the shop were a bit ordinary.
Well, we're just glad to see that you've got pants on. That's that pleases us to no end.
Yeah.
So I thought I better lean forward and hide the slippers, but you had to bring it up. So
Yeah.
Well, I had something I wanted to bring up today. I was actually spotted in the wild as somebody actually hit me up and said, are you Aaron from the Property Pod? I might not have said, are you Aaron he said, are you on the Property Pod? So I was at Click and Collect on Sunday getting my groceries, and I'm just sitting there waiting for the food to show up, and this kid shows up. I'm going to say kid.
Yeah.
He's rolled up to the back of the car and he's putting the groceries on. I'm having a bit of chit chat. Like, how you going? He says, are you on the Property Pod? I was gobsmacked. I said, yeah, mate. Listen to that, do you? He said, oh yeah, I've listened to a fair few. I'm and I was like, the penny drops.
Big Will.
Yeah, so Big Will, shout out to you, my friend. You made my Sunday by letting me know that you listen to our podcast. I'm not sure if you're in the market for a home. You didn't seem like a a young lad who's
He's getting that information, working hard.
Yeah.
So he will be eventually.
no shout out to Will. I've been spotting the while. He said, do you get it much? Do people often ask you, are you on the property podcast?
Yeah, because we're celebrities in Hobart.
Yeah, I said, it is a pretty rare occurrence, my friend, but yeah, you've made my day. So
It's-
we are making a splash out there, guys.
And a click and collect, it's nearly 100% of the time you get recognized at this point.
Well, I was thinking about it, Jimmy and Nate, they've moved on from Tassie. Next opportunity, we might be running the Jack Jumper games or the next Hurricanes
That'd
games.
Yeah, look, there's definitely scope for that. Even get on those radar promotions, perhaps we could get on there and start selling stuff. So the sky's the limit. Actually was only speaking about the green screen to some of the staff before and saying, yeah, maybe we could be a weatherman doing weather reports there. So look, anything can happen at 414, and moving into the future, there are many, many exciting things planned. So I thought today, jumping into the real estate side of things, we could talk about kind of the 2022 plan for marketing properties, for marketing the business, for marketing kind of ourselves to the greater public. And I thought, Pat, no better time to talk about it than when you've been at home working on a bunch of the marketing stuff at your kitchen desk.
I'm just thinking about it now. You've told me that we have such reach with the pod. I don't even know if we have to market anymore.
I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
We've reached critical mass.
So my job's done. I've kind of, hey, drop the mic, I'm out of here.
Yeah, well, if we've got to the click and collect people, we're done. I love it.
The thing is, a lot of the time when I am kind of getting Facebook ads organized and marketing properties, one of the really good demographics to do is Coles or Woolworths to kind of hit a bunch of people who are buying the groceries or the money spenders in the family. So look, Coles, I'll just have to add click and collect and then you sort it. That's the people who are, really into the digital age.
And I think that really needs recognition because I don't think many people know about it yet. So I think it really benefits Coles for us to give them a shout out. It's going to really make a difference to their bottom line.
Indeed.
Just like that, I can't remember when. I think it was who was the guy from the Beatles? Not John Lennon.
Ringo Starr, Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney. He went on stage with one of the rappers. I can't remember which one it was.
Oh, Kanye West, yeah.
Yeah. And I think it was one of Kanye's fans says, looks like he's going to blow up after performing with Kanye.
Only time will tell.
Matter of time.
Yeah, good old Sir Paul McCartney blowing up after performing with Kanye.
He's in this little band you might have heard of him.
You're right, marketing though, back on top.
Yeah, talk us through kind of the grand plans for marketing across the future of 414. I know you've never been one to keep your secrets locked away, Pat. You're pretty transparent with a bunch of the ways you go about business. Do you want to talk about kind of where you see property marketing in the future? On the pod.
Definitely. Well, for all the real estate agents listening, grab pen and paper because you're going to learn some cool stuff. So
just swinging his big bat.
I will get my pad actually.
Step one: start a podcast. No, look, like Aaron said, we do things digitally at 414, and it's a good opportunity to, I guess, run through how we market a property these days. So I know we've spoken about it in the past, and everyone does professional photos and drone photography, things like that. But there's so much more that we do to advertise a property now at 414 than just getting some pretty photos taken by our amazing photographers, isn't there? As
yeah, well, so I guess all that stuff on the back end that actually goes into marketing the property is a lot different to what we've spoken about. Like even if you were to go back to episode, I think 22 or something is one of the first times we talk about marketing your property. Even from then to now, which is probably only 2 years' time, it's still, the landscape's changed all over again. And it's the way the market moves. But the way people are accessing information, like the amount of research I've been doing into TikTok marketing and advertising on Spotify or advertising on Listener, all these other places where you might not have even been seeing images of the property there, but still letting people know about it in an audio format to then have somewhere for them to link that information from. So I guess one of the main parts that I'm always working on is getting that call to action together so that if you're seeing the property, you're not then having to go on a wild goose chase to find out more about it. We want to make it as easy as possible. So if you're getting served an ad for 12 Smith Street, you want to be able to click on that and it take you to the information to where you can fill out information about that or find out all the things you want to know and who to contact from there. So even getting qualified leads from just, clicking on that and then being able to find out more information is something we're working on, and finding the reach of the property ad is now so much more than just, we served it to all these people in the newspaper, and man, I hope they'll reach out to us. Like
and it's a great point there. As like the newspaper, when John and I used to advertise in it, and we still do, but it's not much anymore. John does the occasional ad. I can't remember the last time I did one, but occasionally, a vendor wants it. And the Mercury, they used to, quote, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, John, 65,000 readers or something per week, or some sort of number like that it was.
It was 55,000 prints.
Okay, so prints. So that's copies of the real estate guide going out to people to read. And obviously a printed magazine would have a turnover of potentially 2 to 3 people. So, maybe it's 150,000 people is picking up that. Now, people obviously don't use the newspaper as much, and they utilize a lot of services like realestate.com and Domain, Real Estate View to advertise properties. And that's great if you're a buyer, that's actively looking, but we want to try to target buyers that are passive buyers like the newspaper used to do. And I guess that's where Aaron and I spent a lot of time in recent period learning how to really successfully advertise via social media. And when I say social media, it's not just putting an ad online and saying new listing, check it out, like and share. It's actually paying for data from these big giant tech companies and then serving those ads back to the people that we think best suit the property. And that's something that we're really excited about at the moment, is because we're really dialing in who we think the demographic is for a particular property, and then making sure the ads go to those exact people so that we can target people in their living room that may not even realize that they're looking for a house to buy at that point in time, until the right one gets put in front of them.
And I know it sounds a little bit insidious. The reality is, though, all those, if you're starting up a new little business and you use that ad spend on Facebook, you can throw a lot of bad money at the wall, because it's just not going to get it. On the stats may look impressive, but it's actually not converting in any meaningful way.
Oh yeah, look, we've done a bunch of kind of workshops with to Laura from King Thing Marketing, a great company here they're in Launceston, so they're Tasmanian based, but yeah, we've done a bunch of just kind of mentorship, I guess you could call it, Pat. We're discussing with them, and they're just giving some really good insights into, you can be chucking money at stuff like this, but yeah, let's really kind of hone it in and find the right people for it. So rather than, like as you say, throwing money at a wall and hoping it seals, makes me think of the spaghetti. Is the spaghetti ready? Is it cooked? Well, you can keep chucking it and see what happens, but a bunch of testing and measuring is really, really good to do. And if you've got the scope to be able to kind of say, oh, well, how come this campaign worked and how come this one didn't? Yeah. I guess one thing that, I was really thinking, bouncing off Pat there, was finding the right demographic for, like, say you've got a brand new listing and that it's going to be perfect for investors. Let's market to investors. Let's look into people who are looking into the investor space or already have a portfolio, build that audience around, and then serve them the ads so that it's not going to grandma and grandpa who probably are going to be looking for a downsizer one. So let's build an audience for that.
Yeah.
Let's find all these things. I know you were doing training session yesterday where the guy was kind of talking, I was listening in from my end of the room. They were talking about some really similar stuff of setting up kind of, a database of, these are the people. And sorry, I'm just going to be word spewing now. But I actually was worried today, Pat, that we wouldn't have anything to talk about. Now I'm just ready to spew it all out. I don't want to give away our secrets. And it's like, nah, we got this.
Well, and test and measure is the correct thing. Like, we're not going to get it 100% right every single time. And look, the other day, Parker was sitting here and he got super excited and ran over and showed me one of my ads running on his YouTube video. And I'm like, well, that didn't work.
Yeah, no. Is he registered as like a 24-year-old male on YouTube?
Not that I know of, but apparently somehow that ad got served to him. So like nothing's rocket science, but the key is that we keep pushing and we keep developing these methods. And look, for the last 2 weeks, I think we've generated 116 inquiries from our social media campaigns. Was that correct, Az?
Last I checked, we were sitting at 122. We had a few extra ones picked up this morning. So it's look, and what we're getting there is leads that we can then kind of retarget ads to them. It's, they've interacted with some of our stuff. So, what's to say, if this wasn't the right one, because obviously all the 116 or 122 people there haven't purchased the properties.
Offers.
So, there's a pool of people there who are interacting with it. Whether it is, I'm just interested in looking at this, find out what it's worth. Like, if we can then later down the line serve those ads to those people, if you're in the market to find something, the ads are going to come to you. So that's good for you to get a little sneak peek on the market, or rather than having to check realestate.com every day to be like, I wonder if there's anything new out there. You might be getting that stuff from us organically just from interacting with.
Yeah.
I know the internet's a scary place out there. People are like, oh, I don't want to, have all these targeted ads. But I always think of that. Do you remember Minority Report, that Steven Spielberg movie where he's walking through the supermarket looking for the girl, and all the ads are talking to him and saying, Mr. Anderton, like, come and try this. And they're all targeted ads. And this was way before targeted ads were a thing. So that was one of those things where they put heaps of work into future proofing or working out what things will be in the future, like driverless cars and all these things that are coming. Targeted ads were kind of, pinned by Spielberg and that back then, and said, like, this is something that's coming. So yeah, it's such an exciting space. I never thought I'd be a marketer or working in marketing, but yeah,
you really do.
Yeah, I really love it. And my Instagram reels are coming through, and what they're saying is, oh, this marketing idea. I'm like, I'm getting all this stuff targeted to me, and it excites me. So if you're in the market for property, look, if you listen to the Property Pod, you're probably
halfway there.
You're probably already in the bucket that we're serving the ads to. So yeah, it won't be to you.
And speaking of target marketing, I guess another thing that we've been working on that I think is a game changer, and I might regret sharing it in case there are real estate agents.
Talk about this. All right, go.
Yeah, I do, because I think it's a great idea, and I if anyone's interested, reach out to me because I'm happy to talk to you about it. But we've started doing geo advertising as well, and for a vendor thinking about selling, geo advertising is an advantage that we currently have that is a game changer, in my opinion. So for anyone that doesn't know what geo advertising is, it still works through the Facebook and the Google network of ads that we were currently just talking about, but we can actually make it so that a certain ad gets served to people that enter certain areas. So like an example would be, say John's running an open home on Saturday morning at 1 Smith Street, and I've listed 10 Smith Street and it's coming up for sale in 2 weeks' time. I could set a geo fence around John's open home on Saturday morning between 10 and 11 o'clock when he's got his open home running. And anyone that goes to John's open home gets my ad later in the day advertising 10 Smith Street for sale. And I really like it. I think it's a game changer because we're able to tap into a network of potential purchasers that we don't actually know and serve them an ad about a property they may be interested in.
Oh, well, look, and the other thing is, only one person can be successful in purchasing the property. Say you're 1 Smith Street, the one at Pat's at 10. If, we were just looking at 1 at 1, we loved it. Like, 10's really similar. It's just up to think, can I get to it? Yes, it might create more competition across the board because more people are finding out about it. But also your job as the agent for the vendor is to, create the competition and get the best possible result. So,
and obviously changing markets like this one, my sort of conversation with the purchasers right now is they're all saying, well, what else have you got? So they're all looking for other avenues, especially the first home buyers that they feel at the moment they've got a lot more time, they've got a lot more choice. So so the idea that the owner could slap up a private for sale and just sell it in 5 minutes previously, well, that market's going to slowly go.
Yeah.
So they're going to need assistance, and we will need assistance to make sure that we can introduce people to multiple properties to fit in their right position. And getting all these tools in order to provide that information to them where they otherwise, a good example is a suburb here called Dowsing Point. It sits in right between Goodwood and Glenorchy, but even on realestate.com, it'll end up on a bottom of a search results suburbs below, and people don't know it exists. But if they had these avenues where that is shown for a property, across the road, well, then obviously we'll get a lot more engagement.
Yeah, definitely. And look, you've sold a few properties in Dowsing's Point, like the case study we did at, what was the old cottage that was the Colonel's cottage or something?
That's right. Yeah.
Amazing property. And the amount of interest that was in that. Imagine being able to, this was before the time we were doing a bunch of this targeted advertising, but imagine being able to kind of, just really hone in on all the people that were after something like that renovation. That was you should talk to that guy again. We need him to renovate some more homes. He killed it.
So, and that's the, for me, a lot of these additional tools that we can ultimately, which is to solve people's problems, which is introducing them to homes.
Yes, exactly.
And that's what these are helping us do.
Look, as I mentioned before, the idea of being in marketing was never on my radar. It's something that, I used to like watching Gruen on the TV and be like, man, this stuff's so fun. Like, imagine doing it. But even switching from starting off as the photographer for the team and growing into this role shows how since 2018, how different the landscape is. And it's kind of, I'm sure that would have been lovely for the small agency where we were when I started to have a marketing manager. But now it's kind of like, oh man, I've got this many staff under me working on it. It's like, as we grow and grow and grow, popping in the bunker, the side offices, this space is so exciting.
Yeah, mate.
And
Great.
to be, sitting in here chatting with Pat while he's on his couch in his slippers, there's no better feeling.
That's it. And look, if you're a vendor out there and you're thinking about selling, not that I want you to, obviously I want you to come sell with us because I think we can do an awesome job for you, but definitely talk to agents and get a really good understanding of the marketing they're offering. If they're just saying, we're going to go do social media advertising and we're going to put it on realestate.com, grill them a bit harder. And if they don't know the answers, get them to go back to the agency and get the extra information on exactly what that looks like, and then come back to you, because you want to be with an agency that understands the new digital landscape and understands the best way to expose the property to its maximum amount of buyers, not someone that just says, oh, we'll put it up as just listed on our Facebook page, because that's not going to cut it anymore. That's just pointless.
Well, even just kind of the age-old boost post is, something that I know I was doing before, thinking like, man, well, like you're saying, throwing spaghetti at the wall. It's kind of like, oh man, boosting a post is so cute.
Yeah.
But so many more avenues that you can do to actually, really fine-tune that marketing to, find the right people. So, it's a very exciting space. And as Pat says, reach out. He's happy to talk to anyone about it, even whether you're listening with him or not, or you just want to know a little bit more about it. This guy, pick his brain. I can help out anybody with kind of the nitty gritty of the things we're doing. But Pat's got a digital brain in there. It's little ones and zeros running around in his little noggin that it's all coded. He's the guy to talk to about this. And then if you want that pen and paper, John used to work before emails existed. So just let it be known. So he's your guy for that.
I really should get my pen license.
Targeted cabinet.
Oh, I love that.
Look, I was so worried coming in the studio today. I was like, we haven't planned anything. This is going to be an absolute schmuckle. I had so much fun talking about all this stuff. I would happily, revisit this anytime. So thanks for your time, Pat. Go, jump in those slippers again and continue working at the
They never came off,
baby. Have you
baby.
back in the studio.
The armchair lobster.
We will catch you when you're safely out of your COVID bubble, and we'll see everybody next week back here at the Property Pod.
Sounds good, guys.
Cheers, boys.
Sweet. See ya. You have been listening to the Property Pod, recorded and edited by 414 Media House in conjunction with 414 Property Code.
This podcast is general information only, and the thoughts and views expressed is the opinion of our panel, and listeners should always seek and use their own investigation into any topic we discuss to ensure they fully understand their own situation.
It does not constitute and should not be relied on as purchasing, selling, financial or investment advice or recommendations, express or implied, and it should not be used as an invitation to take up any agent or investment services. No investment decision or activity should be undertaken on the basis of this information without first seeking qualified and professional advice.